Hello, I'm Dennis Snow, and this is Speaking of Service Excellence. Most of us can share horror stories of horrendous customer service that we've received. And while getting horrendous service isn't a whole lot of fun, sharing the story really is kind of fun. And the story usually gets better every single time that we tell it. Now, obviously, delivering poor service is dangerous for any organization because, especially with social media, a customer's horror story can go viral minutes or even seconds after it happens, and we see it all the time. So we certainly have to guard against delivering poor service to customers. But the silent killer of customer loyalty, I believe, is indifferent service. Because I think most of us know when we've really screwed up and delivered poor service to a customer. Now, whether we admit it or not is a different story, but we usually know when we've done it. Indifferent service, on the other hand, is a sin of omission. We don't do it on purpose, and we probably don't always know that we've even done it. But every time that we simply process a customer through our system, rather than making him or her feel valued, we're guilty of indifferent service. Every time a customer feels like they aren't a priority to us, we're guilty of indifferent service. And here's the big problem. Customers don't usually complain about indifferent service. They just don't come back. And they certainly don't recommend you to others. They become indifferent about you. So here's a simple exercise to combat indifferent service in your organization. You can do this exercise as an organization, you can do it as a department, or you can do it as an individual. You decide what works best for your particular situation. For the sake of this discussion, let's say that you're doing this as a department. During a team meeting, have the following discussion. With the customers that we serve, specifically, what would indifferent service look like or sound like? That's it. What would indifferent service look like or sound like to our customers? And here's the beauty of this approach. Your employees will know because they've all experienced indifferent service. Now, remember not to focus on poor service. You want to focus on indifferent service. And if you and your team can't come up with at least 10 or 15 examples, then you're really not trying. Now, once you have your list, you then turn the examples around. What would the opposite of each example look like or sound like? In other words, you're moving from specific examples of indifference to specific examples of care. So let's use a tech company's help desk as an example. I would say that an example of indifferent service regarding a customer's issue would be to simply run the customer through a scripted list of potential solutions to whatever the problem may be. Caring service, on the other hand, would be to ask the customer what he or she might have already tried. Now things become a little bit more personalized. Now, the representative might still ask the caller to try something again, but they can say why and demonstrate respect for the caller. So once you have your list, now the goal is for the entire team to focus on ensuring that everyone demonstrates the behaviors associated with care. It all becomes pretty obvious as you watch or listen to an employee's interactions with a customer. Are the employees' behaviors in alignment with the indifferent service list, or are they in alignment with the caring service list? Coaching an employee's performance becomes pretty straightforward using this approach. In doing this exercise with many companies, I find that the examples of caring service usually don't cost anything, and they usually take little or no extra time. It's really just about attitude. So take a moment to think about this question. As your customers interact with your organization, are they experiencing an attitude of indifference or an attitude of care?